This is my 2011 KTM 250 XCW. She's street legal Supermoto. I'm gonna do a just a quick cold startup on her. Really, she likes to go ride. It's a horrible rainy day, so we're not gonna go ride it and actually get it down to full operating temperature, which takes, you know, about 2 to 3 minutes of actual riding it to get her up to temp, where then she'll just dead idle without the choke on. But we'll pop the choke on, start her up. She does have a e-start, and with a lithium-ion battery, she just fires right up. So that's kind of convenient. But just choke on, and then e-start. Anyway, she's still cold. Like I said, rainy day, so not gonna go rip her. I did pop the choke off at the end, which is why she bogged out at the end. But pretty much standard 2-stroke. Starts right up, drives good to ride. Within a couple minutes of riding her, then she's good. Once she's actually up to temperature too, the nice thing about the KTMs, pretty much all the 2-stroke, like smoke, pretty much it becomes basically undiscernible. It's not a big deal. She does smoke whenever you have the choke on, whenever she's cold, like any 2-stroke. But once she brings up the temperature, then it becomes small enough that, you know, maybe there's a slight little light blueness in your exhaust, but other than that, you just don't really tell. Other than that, I mean, 2-stroke, Supermoto, street legal. Has suspension set up for 2-stroke, has a Clake 2 left-hand rear brake, which is so how that works is you have a clutch on the inside and then a 1-finger rear brake. This rear brake, you know, you go 1 finger. I actually have it set up so you can put 2-finger on it if you want, but 1 finger you can lock up the rear, no problem. The way the hydraulics work, the clutch too, super easy to do with just a single finger, like easy clutch. People, I guess, some people may think it'll be like really hard to get used to it. I kind of thought that whenever I got the bike and I had it on there, but it's not. You know, you just kind of get used to it, I guess, is the only way I describe it. It's a little bit unorthodox. I do have other, you know, normal street bikes I ride and stuff like that. That's just one of them. But switching between them's never been a problem. Like, I don't get confused and can't find the rear brake or something like that. You kind of adapt after, you know, the first day you ride it, the first hour, you know, maybe it's kind of weird, and then you just kind of get used to it. Other than that, brake-wise, like just kind of going over the bike really quick, you know. It does have all the Brembo brakes. It is a stock caliper, just on a big. It's kind of the standard Supermoto setup where it's got the big rotor. She does have nice, look at these Michelins. Yeah. Michelin 2 CTs. So they're the Pilot 2 CTs. They're in good shape. And then basically every guard you could possibly have. I do have the 2 gas tanks for her. Big gas tank means you don't have to worry about fuel. But she is kind of wide, so it kind of widens out then, and that's a little bit. I like the stock gas tank a lot better in terms of feel, but it's kind of range limiting because the bike only gets about 30 miles per gallon, and you know, with about 3-gallon capacity, I think it's 3.4, but I don't like running a bike to empty. So with about a 3-gallon capacity, then you're only talking, 80, 90 miles before, you have to get gas. And whenever I'm riding on the street, then I just kind of go, and it's kind of convenient to have the big old 6-gallon tank on there. And that doubles, my range, and I pretty much just don't have to even worry about stopping for gas. I get gas at the beginning of the day, I can ride. I'm not going to run out of gas, good to go. Pretty convenient. Other people will run out before me and need to get gas, so then I just fill back up whenever they need gas, and there's just zero issues with it with the big tank. So to me it's been worth it, but it's a 1-bolt swap. They just kind of have a little bolt right here that holds them on. So it's super easy to swap back and forth. It only takes a few minutes. You just pop the gas hose off, and then undo the bolt, take it off, put the other one on, switch the gas over, and you're home free. It does have the Trail Tech Vapor little gauges, which are actually pretty nice. But yeah, that's pretty much the bike. She is, gearing wise, like, I consider top speed is about 100. I think gearing limited at 110 with this particular chainless sprocket setup that I have on it for the street. You of course have all the dirt stuff, which is geared way lower. But the nice thing, what I set it up for is in 6th gear, the wide ratio transmission, you are completely out of power valve. The power valve is not engaged at all at 55 miles an hour. It starts engaging around 58 to 60. So you can actually cruise up to about 55, and that's I'm about 58, and you're right on the limit. 60, the power valve barely starts creeping over. You start getting extra vibrations. As you go up past 60, you start getting the real 2-stroke vibrations. So that really helps on the street to be able to cruise, at 55 miles an hour on a normal highway, and it's just no bit, and you're not going to put your hands to sleep, because on the freeway, cruising 85 miles an hour full in power valve band on this thing, half an hour later your hands are going to be numb. At least mine are. But that's not a problem as long as this bike really isn't a freeway commuter. Something like that is a freeway commuter. This this is more for back roads, twisty roads, days where you want to have fun. Bike rips. But other than that, I mean, she runs good. She starts right up. A lot of fun. She is fully, street legal. The title, it just says 2011 KTM. Model is a 250. Just the number 250. Body type is MC, motorcycle. In Alabama, they don't even check the VIN unless it's from out of state. So whenever they do out of state, then it's just a VIN check. Any state where motorcycles are exempt from emissions, pretty much. Out west, I'm not familiar with their stuff. States like California, I'm sure, wouldn't let you drive something like this. But most southeast states, I imagine, will let you drive something like this with the way the titling set up, because it's just an Alabama motorcycle. Now, depending on how they do their inspection process for an out-of-state vehicle, if they check more than the VIN, like if they want to check that you have functional, say if they have a turn signal law and they want functional turn signals, then this one doesn't have functional turn signals. So, they make tons of kits to put different lighting setups on these things and add turn signals to it, and it's not really hard because you just need a switch with turn signals and then run some power to lights. Like I said, because it is an e-start, it does have a lithium-ion battery. It's 12-volt DC normal. It's not AC power like a lot of the old 2-strokes were. The engine will run off the AC rectifier, but it has a regulator rectifier that provides back charging current back to the battery. And so I have like all the lights running off 12-volt DC. I've also, the headlight runs off 12-volt DC now, so not AC, so it doesn't do the flicker thing at low revs. And because that's pretty much it, It is, of course, KTM 250, so with the built suspension, adjustable, little, everything. You can pretty much adjust her to your heart's content. Has the Supermoto springs in it right now. Change fork springs, go back to enduro. Everything else in the suspension is pretty much the same. It's a good bike, and that's pretty much the overview. And it is absolutely 100% possible to have your weekend bike be a two-stroke. Two-strokes are awesome. Two-strokes should never die. Just because racing decided for emissions purposes it was better for a four-stroke, that's my kind of spill. Two-strokes are still pretty awesome. You know, they may have, you know, their emissions issues, which KTM, great company, is working on dealing with. They've got the newer two-strokes that are actually like EU compliant and everything, and they have fuel injection on them. So those are really cool. So always recommend KTM two-strokes. I've had good luck with them. They're pretty awesome bikes. Just time for this one to go away, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I'll keep it. Who knows? Depends on if someone brings me money or not. Oh, you always go back and forth on a bike like this because it's a lot of fun. But that's it. Have a good one, guys.